Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. Delighted to have your company as we talk about the result last night for Hearts. Robbie Neilson's been singing the praises of his young defence with that 3-0 win up at Ross County. Ronnie's not out for revenge as Celtic prepare to take on Ross County in the league, and Mark Warburton is far from happy with Alloa reducing the size of their pitch ahead of the weekend game for Rangers. Alan Ruff is alongside me, Peter Martin, our boot-room guest, as ever, on a Thursday. Hugh MacDonald of the Herald, delighted to have him with us. And as you can see, Hugh clearly has taken the Goodfellas movie to heart. He's got the gangster outfit on. There's no messing tonight, Ruffy. It's as simple as that.
It's a Johnny Cash tribute night tonight. And that's where I am tonight.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, you're looking magnificent, Hugh. There's lots to talk about. I know you won't mess when you've got that serious suit on, so let's cut to the chase then. What a good result last night for the Jambos up at Dingwall against Ross County.
Great result, and for all reports as well that I'm hearing and reading, Suter had a great game last night as well, so obviously I think he'll come on leaps and bounds there. I think he's a real good prospect. So another good buy. I actually think Hearts and Doda scored two as well, so I think Hearts did really well in the transfer window, because I think Cowie as well, Don Cowie will be an excellent buy for them as well, an excellent acquisition for them as well.
Well, as soon as you see the manner of the goals and the way Dowda took the chances that he had, Ruffy, you're saying to yourself, well, you know, Osmond sows away. The Hearts fans don't need to worry about it. The replacement's just fitted straight in there.
Yeah, I thought the boy looked the part when he came on. He had a chance near the end with a header. He certainly looked as if, you know, he was more mobile than so. And obviously he scored a couple last night. But all credit to Hearts, you know, coming off the back of that game at the weekend. They might have looked at it and went, well, it's a wee one too far, but it wasn't. But it just shows you that Ross County don't have the depth. You know, they don't have the depth that Hearts have got in all the top teams, and they were really stretched to the limit, and it was a bad result for them. Yeah,
strangely enough, I don't think you predicted last night. I mean, I looked at it, Hugh, and I certainly didn't see 3-0, and I think that's great credit to. Not many teams go up there and take 3 off Ross County.
No, I think one of the things that Ross County have, defensively, they are, shall we say, kindly fragile, but they usually score.
Yeah.
Usually, they've got enough options to score as well. You know, Boyce and Graham, etc., etc. I agree with Alan on the fact that it's a smashing result for Hearts on the back of the cup tie, because you would think coming out of the cup tie they'd be down. The best one in the world, do think that's us. We've won it at half time, just about. We're there, we're almost over the line.
Yeah.
Then not only are they back in it, they've got to go again, but they have to go up to Dingwall to play a game. So good on them for reorganising themselves, getting a great result, and then everything's opened up for them now on, because they're still in a European qualifying place. And of course, they've got this huge cup tie next week, sold out. Can I get a ticket for it now?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the table last night after that 3-0 win. Hearts are just, they're in that, it's almost in limbo, Ruffy, now, because they know that third place is secure. They know what type of money they'll be taking in at the end of the season for finishing in third place. I think it's really now just to try and get that consistency. You know, I think they're unbeaten in 8 games now, but just keep it going, amass as many points as possible, because that gets you even more money from the SPFL.
Yeah, I think anybody at Hearts, and they look at that table and where they are in the cups, it's just an unbelievable achievement for where they were and where they are now. And everybody deserves full credit. Europe would be sensational, particularly with that Hearts away support, you know, the numbers that they go. So, yep, I think we all keep talking about we're losing all the points in Europe, but I think Hearts now, if they get into Europe, and obviously Aberdeen are better than Celtic, we could start climbing up that ladder and try and get more teams back in again, or at least get more points.
And the thing about Hearts as well is that we can never forget, they're just up. You know, sometimes we forget, you know, and teams that just come up normally, I know it's Heart and Midlothian, but normally the team coming up, what's the first cliche? A season of consolidation, you know, stay out that playoff place. And they're now talking about Europe, still in the Scottish Cup. Good on them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not quite as positive as you are about the teams. I think once we have a situation where you have a Celtic, a Rangers, a Hearts, a Hibs and Aberdeen, that's fine. you know, if there's a competitive edge to the league, but I think we need a standard of player that gets not only Celtic but other teams into the, you know, qualification and group stages of competitions, Hugh. That has to be the goal.
Yeah, and what we're talking about Hearts recruitment, which is excellent and has been excellent, but the most significant, if I, you know, Dodder comes, scores a couple of goals, a former Scottish international comes from Wigan and gets a game. But what's most important for me about Hearts and about Celtic and about Hibs as well is the Sam Nicholsons, you know, is the Kieran Tierney's, the John McGinns. I mean, we must get that wave of young player coming through as well, because quite simply, the players that we're going to be buying from overseas aren't the top notchers that once came. You're not going to get the Larsons, the Suttons, the Laudrups playing in Scottish football in the future.
Yeah.
And certainly in the short term.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we've got any argument with you on that one. Let's look at some of the press conferences that have been taking place. I think Motherwell, Steve McManus and Mark McGee have just mentioned, you know, they had a good little start, a nice little purple patch for Mark McGee. Now it's getting tricky. They know they're in this battle to avoid at least the playoff, Ruffy. And Steve McManus says they've just got to stick together and believe in the message from the manager.
Yeah, not only that, I would like to think that the Motherwell players that are there just now that experienced the last turmoil wouldn't want to go through that again. I don't think anybody would want to go through it. So you would think the players would learn the lesson of you know, buckling down and trying to keep away from that, because I don't know if you remember that they 2 or 3 weeks in any footballer's life would have been horrendous. Obviously, contracts up for your family, you know, your future, you know, so you don't want to be anywhere near that drop zone.
Yeah, what a big game it is at the weekend for them against Kilmarnock.
Well, that is one of the that is one of these, you know, real crucial, pivotal matches, and Kilmarnock now without a manager as well, so that usually, as we all know, the great cliche, that usually makes aids the concentration, shall we say, of some of the players on the Kilmarnock side. So there's been real quite strong criticism as well, Motherwell, on the back of the Inverness Caledonian defeat in the cup. You know, where the you know, McGee was getting pelters that day. You know,
Yeah.
you know, he even came out and explained his tactics. Everybody was going on, imagine playing only one up front, and he explained exactly what he was trying to do. You know, he actually came out and had to address the crowd, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
there's certainly nerves and some tension there.
Yeah, Ronnie Dyla has mentioned there's not revenge in the air, Ruffy, as far as the league game against Ross County. It's just a case of getting back on track after the disappointment of last week.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, that we're trying to keep 11 players on the park and show everybody that on the day they should be better than Ross County. But it's the Ross County boys will know, you know, what they're up against, and they'll go there, you know, and fancy themselves, obviously, with the result in the cup.
Would you give Charlie Mulgrew a new deal?
Me, no, I wouldn't. I think, well, if I did offer him it would be on reduced terms. Charlie got a good bump up with his last renewal because he became such an important player with Celtic. But I think now, with the way Celtic are looking financially in midfield, they've got plenty of options. They've got young options now in midfield. I would give him a deal if it was, you know, at the bottom level, but not maybe at the money he's looking for, no.
Yeah, okay. Just before we get to the break, guys, I don't know if you watched the footage from the Celtic Valencia,
Yes.
the youth tournament.
Terrible foul at the
It
end.
really, I mean, honestly, I watched this, David Pascal of Valencia. I mean, the Celtic player was going through with a chance for a shot on goal. It's 1-1. It could have transformed it. Celtic eventually get knocked out in penalties. But I think it's indicative of the way some footballers think it's okay to dive. I just thought it sent out the wrong message right across the continent.
Yeah. I wonder if Gordon Smith would have anything to say about that.
Well, I'll tell you, Gordon would be retrospectively in there giving him a kicking for it because it was terrible.
To be fair to Gordon, that is the only way to do it. The only way you're going to get rid of that is to go in retrospective.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way, because all due respect, it's very difficult sometimes for the referees to see it.
Yeah.
But if you've got, you know, prima facie evidence that that's what's happened, do them. And do them even at that age.
Yeah.
So that they know that this is just, we're not putting up with this.
Yeah, well, I have to say, a strong industrial language, but he is wearing a mob suit, to be honest with you. I told you he wasn't going to hang about today. This is the Ray Liotta tribute night. Hugh MacDonald, do them. It's the classic line. But nevertheless, I think video evidence might help as well. So, for more bone-crunching analysis, join us after the break. We're going to talk Mark Warburton at Rangers, and we'll get the thoughts of Ruffy in reducing pitch sizes. It's all coming up on the Football Show. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. Alan Ruff is alongside me, Peter Martin, and our bookroom guest is the respected journalist, Hugh MacDonald of the Herald, with us to talk football. Mark Warburton, certainly not a happy man with Alloa, reducing the size of their pitch ahead of that weekend game. Well within the rules, Ruffy.
Yeah, I think it's a bit out of order, making it 6-a-side. We'll just take that.
It's the fact that he's actually said they're playing on a bouncy castle. Yeah. Which is, I don't know if that's been within the rules.
I mean, I can listen. One man's meat's another man's poison, but we're all well aware that Graham Souness, I think, actually did it for a match against Dynamo Kiev all those years ago. Managers do it. If it's within the rules and it gives you an advantage, Ruffy, why not?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've looked at this Rangers style of play. They like a lot of width, and they like to get the ball wide and put it in the box. And obviously, I mean, it does sell you, but it does, affect you if it is brought in. When I was at the juniors, when we used to play teams like Hurlford, and they used to bring their park in as well. Sometimes you play 4 in the midfield, 5 in the midfield. If you're playing 5 in the midfield and you're shortening it, it's amazing how psychologically that just 2 yards, can affect you. Because players are used to playing the ball down, they're playing the ball up in the park, and it'll be amazing how many times the ball goes out the park just by 2 yards.
And James Tavernier will be playing in the top of Dunayet.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was right.
I mean, honestly, Hugh, at the end of the day, Rangers just need to go there, do the job. Who cares?
Well, that's why I'm surprised about Mark coming out of it, because he knows it's a situation he can't change, because it's perfectly within the rules and they can do what they want with the park. It's their park.
Yeah. I think the bigger point here, though, Hugh, from Mark is quite simply that it's in the middle of the season.
Yeah, but you can do it any time.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's still within the rules, but I think his point is, somebody needs to look at it because they're doing it mid-season. If they want to keep that, if that's your pitch size, that's your pitch size for the whole season.
I don't buy into that. I mean, any team surely is entitled to use any advantage within the laws. That's why you see sometimes guys, putting water onto pitches, etc., etc.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's within the rules, and the reason I think it's a bad move from Marty, I mean, not a smart move from Marty, he's obviously now given the Alloa players something like, this is quite good. They've got them worried about the size of our pitch now. Instead of saying, fine, we'll play you on any pitch, that's the rules, go on with it. Because he can't change it.
Yeah. I think if Alloa had more sensible, they should just have made the goals weird.
Yeah.
You just brought them in.
Yeah, absolutely.
As you used to do, you used to do it. You used to do it in the park. When everybody turned round to go to the park, just bring the jerseys in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you saying that. I can remember Bill McMurdo phoning me one day to say, You want to play football? It was a Sunday afternoon, and Bill loved a game of football, and he phoned me, and I thought, oh, that's great. So I phoned my mate, and we turned up in Uddingston, and I kid you not, it was 22 a side.
A real Uddingston game, man.
It was unbelievable, and Bill had the full kit on. We thought we were going to changing rooms, there'd be studs, you get your 22 a side, Ruffy. It was like Charlie. We're running, everybody was running after the ball. It was magnificent.
Hugh's just briefly touched on it. As a young goalkeeper growing up, and all you had was two two coats down, and every time a player had a shot, and they said it was in because it was under the bar, and we never had a bar. You know, so how do you know when it was by the post or out the post? But
I wish we'd have done that for Peru.
That's what it was. After QB that's free kick, he was running to the referee going, that was over the real bar.
Anyway, apart from that, I mean, listen, we're moaning about everything now. I mean, apart from the size of the pitch, Tommy Wright's had a wee go saying, you know, players don't want to play in artificial surfaces. Now, the PFA have come out, I think it was something like 70% of players said it. We had David Clarkson on last night saying he prefers grass. A lot of players prefer that, although the younger generation are being brought up on artificial surfaces.
yeah, I can see where Les Gray's coming from. You know, they put a lot of money into the game, you know, and that's the way ahead for their club. You know, that's the benefit of what they're doing. You know, but I would love to ask the Hamilton players how many of them would prefer to play in that or play in grass.
Well, it's not just Hamilton, it's Kilmarnock. It's, you know...
Oh, yeah, I mean, every surface, all the surfaces are different, but at least at Hamilton they're making an effort to upgrade it and keep it at a standard that it should be at.
Yeah, just on Kilmarnock, we seem to be waiting an eternity to find out who the manager's going to be. I mean, Lee McCulloch says he's not interested.
I don't. He might be made interested though as time goes on. I actually think it's a decent job at the moment. 'Cause I never would laugh at that, the poison chalice. But in this season, they're just far enough away from automatic relegation to make it interesting. You know, and we're talking about Motherwell and Hamilton being around them in the playoff spot.
Yeah.
So it's not a hopeless cause you're walking into. I mean, there's possibilities there, and I think there's a couple of good candidates out there.
Yeah, just on the point of this weekend, it's quite a crucial weekend for a number of clubs. Is this, apart from the playoff, which 2 or 3 clubs have still got a battle on their hands, is this the weekend where if Dundee United don't win at Hamilton, it's game's a bogey?
Not for me, no. I think...
Are you waiting to the second last game of the season?
No, I've said all along, even at the top and the bottom, if Aberdeen can hang on to Celtic for the split, and there's going to be 5 games against the 5 best teams, you know, I think they're all capable of taking points. As the bottom, if you could get into that bottom bit, you know, and grabbing distance of somebody, 3 or 4 points, and Dundee United have got 2 games in hand, some of them, so I don't think it's all over. I think there's still a lot to play for. I'm pretty bleak about the prospects of Dundee United. I think they've gone.
Yeah.
I think they really need about 4 or 5 victories, you know, quickly out of maybe 7 or 8 games, that quickly, to get them back in that hunt, to get them that 10 points that takes them alongside the Kilmarnocks and the Motherwells and Hamilton. And I just don't see it, and I don't see how the selling of John Souttar helps that in any way. I also think the lack of recruitment, I mean, we know they brought in a couple of free transfers, but the real lack of recruitment in the January window perhaps indicates that there's people up there that share my pessimism about the rest of the season.
Yeah, I also think there's less and less chance now, Ruffy, of any kind of league reconstruction in the summer. Certainly, the more people I speak to in the SPFL, I get a real sense that the people with real power are not entertaining anything bigger than the size of the league at the moment.
No, I don't think in the light of what happened to Rangers, and I don't think anything could be changed now. I think it has to stay it is, and if you're down, you're down. You know, I don't think you can be showing favour to anybody at all now after what Rangers went through.
Yeah, I don't see how the two are linked, Ruffy. Just out of
curiosity. There was a lot of rumours about, you know, scrapping up the rules and don't send Rangers down where they were.
No, but if you extend the league, it's within the rules. They're after this 3-year period. They could actually look at it in the summer. I don't see how Rangers going down to the bottom league is linked into it. I think this is within the rules to extend the division, Hugh. I just don't see the desire for it.
There's an option to do it. I don't see the desire for it either. And I think the only people that would have a strong argument for it are supporters who are fed up with watching, you know, their team playing another team 3 times. But I think people in boards will be saying that, you know, that Rangers will be in the top division next season, I think. Yeah. I mean, I've gone on record, I think they'll win that championship. And the teams that are in it and the chairman are in it, they'll want their chance of playing them, playing both sides of the Great Divide 3 times.
Yeah. Who's in your top 4 then, Ruffy? Because Rangers, Hibs will battle it out. And then Falkirk play Wraith Rovers this weekend. This is a cracker. Are those 2 sides your pick, or have you got Queen of the South in there?
No, I'm going to put pressure on Alec Ray. I think St Mirren, given another couple of wins, will believe that they can get in there. I don't think Wraith Rovers, Queen of the South, are showing any consistency just now. So if they were to get a couple of wins, it would put pressure on them all.
That's a big shout. It's an interesting one.
No, I'm backing him on it. I think he's right. Yeah, I think they could make a real push.
I think it's an interest. I never quite. It's stunning how they change about actually when you reflect on it in Paisley. Yeah, I mean, because the former Queen of the South and Wraith Rovers isn't convincing. I think Falkirk have done very well under Peter Houston. I think they'll definitely be there, and I think they'll be a strong footballing team in that process. But yeah, I wouldn't rule out St Mirren. No, I wouldn't rule out St Mirren, but there might be just a wee bit too much to catch up.
Yeah, so you're 4?
My 4, I'd put the 3 obvious, Rangers, Hibs, Falkirk, and then I'd probably go for Queen of the South.
Queen of the South, Ruffy?
I'm going to shove St Mirren in there.
St Mirren in 4th position.
See Alec fixing his hair just now as we speak.
Yeah, absolutely. We're well happy with it. Listen, it's as ever a joy to have Hugh MacDonald on. We'll always get no shortage of opinion as well. We're off to watch Once Upon a Time in America on Betamax in Hugh's house. I hope you've enjoyed the programme. From Ruffy, from Hugh MacDonald and myself, thanks for watching.